Hi, this is Dan Gilmartin, part of the Gilmartin Group real estate company in Burlingame, California. March 23rd, 2020, with your Monday morning market minute. Certainly going to be a different Monday morning market minute. I certainly have the numbers here for you, and then after the numbers, I do have some points I'd like to talk about in this COVID-19 pandemic scenario that we have. Certainly, what I want to do is make sure that I continue to serve my tribe, if you will, everyone who watches me week in and week out, and I do thank you for that. But I want to help bring more certainty into these uncertain times, and I believe that the numbers will help, the facts will help clear any of the fear. So let's get started. The single family inventory from South San Francisco to Redwood City right now is 123. That is down sharply from 160 of last week. We had 22 homes come on the market this last week, and we had 26 homes go into contract. That number is not zero. That's 26. That's down from 39 of last week, and yet with the low inventory, 26 is actually a very healthy number with this scenario that is going on right now. Condominiums, 46 condominiums on the market. That is also sharply down from 71 of last week. We had 7 condominiums come on the market, and we had 14 condominiums go into contract. Again, a very healthy number. It's not zero, and with such low inventory, 14 homes go into contract. Now here's the big number. Expireds, cancels, and withdrawals. 59. Single family homes, condominiums, townhomes. 59 homes took themselves off the market. That's massive, massive number. That's why we had such low inventory now, and only having so many homes come on the market, only 7 condominiums come on the market. 22 homes though came on the market. That's a bit larger than I thought it would be, but 59 homes canceled, withdrew their homes from the market. What does that really mean? We have now a very large list of off-market opportunities, because I know after reading the comments, at least 99% of those homes still want to sell their home, but they figured it was best to take themselves off the market. We also had 7 homes reduce their price. That's hardly nothing. The week before, that number was 12. So total from South San Francisco to Redwood City, single family homes and condominiums, inventory is 169. Now that is extremely low and way down from 231. So we have massively low inventory. So here are my thoughts. We're in week 2 of the shelter in place, and first and foremost, we want to say here at the Gilmartin Group, continue on being safe, continue on staying home, and let's continue to work together to lower this curve and get through this. I have found very interesting, I think we can all agree how interesting the silver linings that are kind of coming out of this. I mean, we've all been going on walks, seeing our neighbors 6 feet minimum away, of course, but being with our family more, slowing down a little bit. I mean, there's been some interesting silver linings, along other things that that aren't so great, in terms of us not being able to get out to our community restaurants and bars and whatnot and keep our economy going. Although, on a side note, let's continue to do that. Let's use the to-go method and continue to support our small business. This virus, this will pass. We are going to get through this, and this too shall pass. So just knowing that we're going to get through this. Right now, it feels to me very similar to 9/11. For those of you who are, I'm sure, I don't have any young kids really watching this, but people are avoiding crowds. The stock market is very volatile, and certainly people aren't feeling safe. We're not traveling, so it feels very much like 9/11. And yet, when you look at the numbers back then in terms of home value prices, home values actually appreciated. In the year I have this graph here. In the year 2000. Home appreciation went up 8.6%. 2001 appreciation went up 6.6%, and 2002 8.5%. Now, in the dot-com bust, home values depreciated 45%, but in 9/11 we actually had home appreciation. Very, very amazing there. And really, the reality is, I think that we all going to agree that we are in a recession, and yet the definition of recession equals an economic slowdown that really shows up in the GDP. And Goldman Sachs GDP forecast, this just out a few days ago, second quarter of 2020, Goldman Sachs GDP forecast predicts a 5% decline in the second quarter of our GDP, third quarter rising to a positive 3% above 3% appreciation in GDP, in the fourth quarter 4%, with further strong gains in early 2021 coming out of Goldman Sachs GDP forecast. Now, this recession though that we're in, recession or this economic slowdown, it does not equal a housing crisis. Let me say that again. A recession does not equal a housing crisis. The length of the slowdown will depend on the course of the pandemic. But out of the last 5 recessions, home values actually appreciated 3 times during the last 5 recessions. In 1990 or 1980 recession, home prices appreciated actually 6.1%. In 1981, they appreciated 3.5%. In 2001, we had a 6.6% appreciation. So recession does not equal a home crisis. And matter of fact, it doesn't mean that it's an automatic depreciation in home values. But 2008, that was different. 2008 was a big one. And we learned a lot in 2008. But we, as the population and the government, in hindsight, we have a lot of lessons there. And Wells Fargo Investment Institute, we do not expect a repeat of the severe recession of 2008-2009 because the virus and oil shocks are not endemic to the financial system, but are rather external. Once the virus infection rate peaks, we expect a recovery to gain momentum into the final quarter of the year and especially into 2021. Again, this is from Wells Fargo Investment Institute. So, one of the things that was happening up to the 2008 problem is that we were using our homes, a lot of people were using their homes like an ATM machine. They were getting home equity lines and out buying boats, going on vacations and things of that matter. And for instance, 2005, 2006, 2007, in those 3 years, American Homes got a home, they cashed out $824 billion out of their homes and went out and bought vacations and, they were not smart with the money. That's something that we've certainly learned. In the last 3 years, 2017, 18, and 19, that number is $232 billion. Completely different than the $824 billion back when we were set up for the 2008 recession. Also, 37% of the homes in America don't even have a mortgage right now. 37% of American homes right now don't even have a mortgage. And the 63 remaining American homes, 1 in 4, have over 50% equity in their home. So if prices even do dip, and a lot of the economists are saying that's probably not going to happen, but even if they did, there's way too much equity in people's homes for them to just walk away. So, in terms of the conversation of foreclosures and short sales, all that is not being geared up. We're not geared up for a problem like that. There's way too much equity in people's homes right now. Also, the government learned in 2008 that they acted way too slow and way too cautiously. We have a much better knowledge, it feels like to me right now, of this slowdown than in the past. So our actions can be way quicker and way smarter. For example, the FHA has put an immediate moratorium on foreclosures and evictions, plus Fannie Mae and Fannie Mac have done the same thing. I believe it's a 60-day moratorium on any foreclosures or evictions. And the government is getting ready to drop trillions of dollars into the economy. Personally, I say politicians don't get hung up on overstimulating. Don't get hung up. I don't care what side we're on. Let's not get hung up right now on overstimulated. Drop the hammer. That's what we can do right now. That's what I would. So, if we're talking about anything like that, or you're talking to or connecting to your politicians, let's just drop the hammer right here, right now. In conclusion, I know this is different Monday Morning Market Minute, but again, I just want to reiterate, let's continue on being safe. Shelter in place. We're in the second week. Let's get through this week, and let's, believe in the fact that we have a lot of great minds in this country and in this world, and we're going to figure this out. We're figuring out. We're going to get through this, and the economy is probably going to. I'm not an economist. I'm just a great real estate agent, and I just see how I can see this whipsawing back. I don't know to what level, but certainly inventory is extremely low right now. Interest rates are extremely low right now. We have clients right now that want to buy a home. We have clients right now that want to sell a home. Therefore, we're here. We have the tools to put them together. Matter of fact, if you're out looking at homes virtually, we can make offers on these homes and just put a contingency in, contingent upon being to physically walk through the home. Also, the California Association of Realtors just came out with a coronavirus addendum stating that if for some reason buyers cannot perform due to the coronavirus, then there's no penalty to the buyer. So we can one step at a time, move this forward. We can make offers. Let's make them contingent on walking through physically and making sure, reading everything. We can do this. Anyway, again, be safe. Enjoy this time with your family. Shelter in place. Well done so far. Let's continue. Let's continue to try and do what we can for our small businesses, the restaurants and the bars and whatnot. Let's use the to-go stuff, and let's just stick together. And I'll certainly talk to you next week.